My dream was to become part of the Eastern literati, in the tradition of Cheever and Styron and Updike. I wanted to capture their style, their usage of metaphor and symbolism. I wanted to write atmospheric stories about urbane men and women who didn't perspire when they made love. So I copied their form, read all their stuff, attended all of their lectures, and got down every word on cassette. How witty they were, I thought. How entertainingly arcane and wry. I tried. God knows I tried. It was murder. I would start a story one day, and by the next day I had run out of gas. I was so damn frustrated and depressed, I'd scream. I would write late into the night and early into the morning before I went to work. I lived it. I lived it. And I was getting nowhere. I was impossible to live with. I don't know how Jim put up with me, because back then I was a pain in the ass carrying around a heavy load of phony intellect. I wrote in sepia, and I spoke in mauve, and I dressed like Miss Marple. I worked at being serious. God, I was so heavy. But then the word writer was like the word God or Pope. My first story was a real upper about a suicidal priest. I submitted it with great anticipation, and it seems like the rejections came back the next day. I was crushed. I asked Jim what he honestly thought about my story, and he said my character had as much charm as halitosis. God, how I bawled. But Jim was wonderful and consoling and understanding. And he gave me some advice. I guess he thought I was ready to listen to something other than my cassettes about Cheever and Styron and Updike. He said that I should forget about trying to write like those guys and write about things that I knew, right from the heart, about kids and pets and the wacky far-out types in our hometown. So I sat down and I banged out a story about Olin Haverman, the town sheriff, part-time meter maid, and counterman down at the White Cloud Cafe. I sold my story for $300. That was 7 years ago. Since then, I've sold 30 short stories and 3 novels. Now I'm working on a biography about a little girl with polio. She's so brave and wonderful. And I work on a computer, and I don't dress like Harriet Beecher Stowe.